First of all, hi, my name's Katie. I've worked in casting off and on for about 15 years. I worked starting for an independent theatrical casting director in Boston, and then I made my way into the studio system. And then prior to my current position, I was working in a commercial casting office for about 3.5 years. Also, while that was happening, I was an actor. So I know exactly what you guys went through and what you're going through, and so I kind of can see both sides of things. Hi, everybody. Peter's logged on. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about our guest before we bring him on. He is a wonderfully talented, amazing talent agent. He has worked at several other larger agencies before now opening up his own shop. And he's honestly probably one of the busier agents in show business right now. He books all the time. He's a wonderful guy. I'm going to have him come on into the chat now. So without further ado, please meet my friend. Here's hoping it works. Oh, we're waiting for him. It's happening. Hi,
hello.
Look at you all branded in your background.
Hey, you gotta advertise, right? That's what we're doing.
That's awesome. Fantastic. So we already have some questions that are coming in from the group, which is awesome. So before we get all that started, we, are going to ask you a few questions first. You're going to tell us about yourself, and then we'll open it up to everybody else. So first and foremost, tell us about yourself, Peter, and how PKA came to be.
Well, as you know, my name is Peter Kallinteris. I was born in Athens, Greece, and then my family left Greece and we went to Canada, and then we migrated down to the US. And I did the majority of my growing up in Pennsylvania. After I graduated high school, I attended the University of the Arts, where I studied theater arts. Mm-hmm. And after I graduated that, I moved to LA in the mid-90s to pursue an acting career. But it didn't work out for me, and it was different then. We didn't have cell phones. So when you were on set, you would wait around for hours and hours, and I just didn't like it. So I left. I left the industry. I moved back to Pennsylvania. I was in construction for 10 years, and I absolutely hated it. I realized that I just hate it. So I quit. I thought to myself, what do I want to do? I really want to be in the entertainment industry. It's what I love.
Yeah.
So I bought a plane ticket. I gave myself 1 week to fly here, find a job in entertainment.
Wow.
And on my last day, I was flying out Saturday, on that Friday, I was hired at Cavallari and Associates.
No
and
kidding.
That's how my agenting career started.
That's crazy. I didn't know.
And then I went to different agencies, and throughout the whole process, I knew that I always wanted to open up my own. And then when the time was right and everything fell into place for me, I launched my agency a little over a year and a half ago on January 1st, 2019. And it is the best thing I ever did for myself in my whole entire life.
Yay.
I love being an agent. I love owning my agency. I love actors. I love my life.
That's awesome. That's so great to hear. And that's the thing too, that I think a lot of actors, will realize as well, is that your journey doesn't necessarily, if it ends acting, great. But it could also end with these other paths that are equally fulfilling and end up being the right choice at the end of the day. I mean, look at me. That's where I am now, and that's where you are now. Yeah. And it's good for actors to hear that too, because I think they ingratiate their identity so deeply into being an actor that anything outside of that would be a feeling of failure or a feeling of existential crisis, when it really isn't necessary. So I think you and I are pretty good testaments to that there is life after being on set.
But and I think we evolve. There was a time in my life where I just wanted to be an actor, nothing else. I was even the poster boy of the University of the Arts. I was on billboards. I was in the playbills. And there was a picture of me like this saying, I never wanted to be anything else. I didn't, but I just fell out of love with it. And now what I'm doing, this is my calling. I love being an agent. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Well, on that note, my next question would be, I think people would be curious as to what what a day in the life of an agent would be on a day-to-day basis, why don't we teach the children just so they can appreciate what it is that goes
It's
into
one
what
word.
you do every day?
One word: chaos. It's absolute chaos, because you're dealing with so many different situations constantly. I wake up every day at 7 a.m. and I go through my emails, everything that came in the night before, and it's hundreds.
Yeah.
And just to make sure that my inbox is clean by 10 a.m. when the castings start coming out on the different casting sites.
Mm-hmm.
So I can focus on that. But it's constant. If I'm putting out fires over here, castings calling, they're not there, they're not at their callback. We're shutting down in 10 minutes.
Right.
We want to avail this person, but they're on avail for 3 other projects during that same time. So then I have to figure out and find out what days each one is shooting for sure, to try to make all 3 projects possibly work. And for those of you that don't understand what an avail is when casting and production is interested in you and they want to make sure you're available for the shoot dates.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to book it. They just want to make sure you're available. So,
but it is the last step before booking. It
yes.
usually means it's between you and like one other person.
Right.
So if you get it put on a veil, that's amazing. That means
Right.
that they
and
would
then when
be
the actor
happy
agrees, when I call you and I say you're on avail for Nike, December 5th and 6th, they have you for those days. Don't do anything else.
Yep.
So
I love life. Pin is a win.
Negotiating contracts, and it's endless. It's endless. It's chaos. It's dramatic, but I really enjoy it, and it's amazing how I'm doing it, and then this and that. It's just like I'm just so on my game with it.
And then you look up and you're like, oh, it's 6.
Right, you're right. It's like, oh, it's 6 o'clock. I mean, no. I mean, the day goes by like that.
Totally. How have you noticed, at least on my end, I have started to see somewhat of a trickle of jobs starting to come back in. How have the job boards been for you? Have you noticed any trends? Have there been, one type of job over another, or an emergence of a new type of job? Like, what have you been seeing?
Because as you know, productions and castings came to a screeching halt.
Yes.
I even had people that were about to shoot things and they were postponed, even commercials, theatrical stuff. So what I'm seeing is previous commercials that actors had booked and had run, they're coming back to me because they want to extend the usage. So, or extend or reuse the spot. I am seeing a lot of self-tape, even for commercials, which is great. So casting and production are finding really creative ways to continue this moving forward, because there's going to be that gap where there's nothing and then all of a sudden everybody's back. I think once we're back and running, it's going to be crazy busy.
Oh, it's going to be nuts.
I'm excited.
Yeah, totally. I mean, because if you think about it, these advertisers, they still have budgets to spend.
Yeah.
They still have these annual budgets to spend. So now that we've had this sort of like 3-month delay, once things get back, I mean, I feel like it's going to really come back with a pow zow. Let's see. How important is it for your clients to be on social media like we are right now? What do you feel like is the priority there? Do you consider someone's social media presence before taking them on as a client?
Social media is imperative. It is revolutionary. It is just as revolutionary as it was when the silent films went into the talking films. Make no mistake about that. Not only is it a platform for the actor to present all their talents. If you specialize in comedy, you can do little skits. When we were actors back in the 90s, we didn't have that option.
Nope.
We submitted photos and we waited for opportunity. Now you create your own opportunity. Even with the clients or the companies, they go directly to the influencers. Let's say you're athletic and you're doing a lot of exercise and you're running, and you have 50,000 followers or 3 million followers who like the same thing. They're going to come to you because they're targeting the exact audience that they want to sell their product to, instead of just doing a broad commercial hitting as many as they possibly can. Why hire a casting office, callbacks, a production team, shooting the commercial, buying the airtime, when they can go directly to you? You have 3 million followers, you're a makeup guru, and they can get the same job done. You're getting 30,000 a post. You're like, great, I'm making a lot of money. but that
Right.
company is also saving
Saving
hundreds of
so much money.
thousands.
Yeah,
So it's
exactly.
imperative to be on social media. You have to create your own brand. You don't have to be an athlete or a makeup guru. It could be comedy. It could be you're like that quirky character. There's so
Right.
many options right now. This is an extraordinary time.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if you're not full blown influencer status, there's still ways of you leveraging social media to
Right.
benefit your career. You think about Twitter is such an amazing platform because never before have you been able to have direct contact
Right.
with people who back in our day as actors, casting, producers, directors, they were all up on their ivory tower, tucked far
Right.
away, never to be,
Right.
addressed. And this point now, you can just slide into someone's DMs and start talking to them. I know Mindy Kaling posted one of her more recent projects she cast through Instagram. With that being said, actors don't just DM casting directors and say, please cast me, because that's, figure out, it's called social media for a reason. So use the social aspect of it. If the casting director is really into dogs, start talking about your dog,
Right.
just finding these ways to connect so that they see you as more than an actor. They see you as a human being. They see you as a peer, and they're much more likely to bring you in for jobs than that actor who's like, please like me, please like me, please
Right.
like me.
The key is relationship. And that is in every aspect of life. It's about that relationship. If you can form a relationship with that casting director about the dog, you're going to start talking. Don't tell them that you want to be an actor casting. They already know.
They know. Your headshot is your avatar. They know.
We get it.
But but it is important to use, and again, don't feel like you need to add this extra layer of anxiety on yourself about, oh God, I have to be an influencer now on top of everything.
Right.
It's more just, it's another tool. It's another tool in the toolbox.
It's a very useful tool, because I've been in situations where someone was casting a commercial, and this actor may not have a social media, and this one may have one, and they have 1 million followers.
Right.
They're going to cast that person over you for a multitude of reasons. And one of them being is they know that actor with the 1 million followers, they're going to post, I was just cast in a Coca-Cola commercial. So that's free advertisement for them.
Yeah.
They're aware of this.
Yeah. Well, it's the same reason why I think name talent gets booked on a lot of stuff,
Right.
as opposed
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
an unknown actor, is because that's the safer bet for the producers. They know that, Jim Carrey's going to get people into the theaters.
Right.
That's a safer bet than taking a chance on somebody who may be extremely talented, but doesn't have a following yet.
Right.
And the same thing just goes for social media. It's just a little more literal.
It's imperative. You have to have it. It's imperative. And if you think, I know actors that say, oh, I don't do the social media thing.
Twitter's been around for 15 years. What are you waiting for? Yeah, no, and it happens also.
They're going to be left behind, and before they realize it, it's too late.
Yeah, no, it's constantly evolving, and you need to be able to be flexible and nimble with the times. So I'm getting a lot of little messages on here from these users, and a lot of the question that I'm seeing a lot are people who are just looking for representation. People who are asking, how do I get access to jobs? How do I get in for castings if I don't have an agent? What would be your recommendations, A, for people self-promoting, or B, just to get an agent in the first place?
When someone wants to submit to an agency, what they want to do is sell themselves. I prefer to be contacted through email, or some people mail headshots. Some people even contact me through Instagram, which is fine. But be ready to sell yourself. Have the appropriate photos, links of reels or projects you have done, a cover letter, really short. Hey, I'm a comedic actor. I'm a stage level performer at Groundlings. I generally don't like to get emails where they're like, this is my dream. I wanted to be an actor my whole life. I want to work with you. This is my dream. I understand that, but I can't sell a dream.
Right.
This is a business just like any other business. So you need to be prepared. I understand some people are green. They don't have the resume, but everybody can do something. You don't have the resume? Maybe you play the piano. Maybe you're great at soccer. Those things are tools I can use. Oh, he's a great soccer player. I see soccer castings all the time. Yes, bring him in. Sell yourself. What can you sell to me that I can sell to them? Not your dream. That's for yourself to keep, and it's beautiful, but it's for you.
True. No, that's very true. And like you said, a dream is not tangible. So it's about exhibiting skill sets and really showing us what makes you unique. You know,
Right.
because unfortunately, being an actor is not very unique in Los Angeles. But you know, being an amateur rock climber, or you
Right.
breed
All those
dogs on
things
the side, or
are tools that are useful. Because right now in casting, as you know, they want real people. It's not the 80s where they're like, I drink water.
yeah,
It's not that. They want somebody relatable. They want your person. When you go into that
yeah,
office, don't give us what you think we want to see. We want to see you. That's what they want to
yeah.
cast. They want to see that individual person. But who are you? Know your brand.
Right, exactly, because nobody's going to do you like you.
Right.
And
And when you have social media, a platform that you can utilize to an unlimited amount of use, where you do little skits or different things, it's a tool that is so incredible. Every actor should be using it.
and you get the freedom to self-direct. That's
Yeah.
the amazing thing. You can make whatever you want. That's the brilliant thing about things like Instagram and TikTok and all these other apps out there. By the way, I've fallen down such a deep TikTok hole the last couple of days. It's crazy. But you know, it's really awesome to see how many talented individuals there are in this country that may not even have any interest in pursuing a career in entertainment, but just sharing their gifts on social media. And there's no excuse why we can't do the same as actual performers, as professional performers.
I have people reach out to me on social media constantly, and I go through their page and I'm like, wow, they look great. And I call people in. I've booked a bunch of people that I brought onto my agency that had reached out to me through Instagram.
That's awesome.
You know, and otherwise I would have not noticed them.
Right.
So it's great.
And again, for casting professionals, for producers, it's just a wonderful way to connect for everybody. And I know casting directors who have developed relationships with directors because of Twitter. You know, I mean, and so don't, you know, it's not limited just to memes. Like utilize it, utilize it. You know, so
I mean, like on my agency, for my agency Instagram, I always post just the projects that my actors do, a commercial or a theatrical booking. I put it on there to promote that actor and to promote the agency as well. Hey, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, because your success is your agent's success. It's casting success. Everybody looks good when you look good. So we're all in this together. We're all a big team, and we're all here to support one another. What would you say is your ideal working relationship with an actor?
Someone that is prepared, someone that shows up. And what I mean show up, not just at your audition, as yourself as a performer, having all the photos that are required, having the reels if you have real material, just having a body of work, you doing the work, taking the classes that are required. If you're strong with comedy, I want to see you in those growling classes or the UCB classes. I want to see you in those classes. I get 10%. 90% of the work comes from you. You're creating your career. I'm here to negotiate the deals. I'm here to make sure you're getting a fair rate. I'm here to make sure that you're not being cheated in any way, or if they want to expand it, that I help you. Because production doesn't care about the actor. They're caring about their commercial or their product. It's not about you. They'll try to get as much from you for as little as possible. My job is to make sure that you get what you're worth.
Exactly. What would you say is the fastest way for a client to get dropped by you? Opposite end of the spectrum.
By email. Not showing up.
Sure.
In the sense of like not going to auditions, not giving me the photos that are required. Sometimes I have officers calling me. They came in, they look like they rolled out of bed. They're wearing flip-flops. The line is endless. When I bring someone on, you're carrying my name. My name is respected. I worked for many years really hard to get that respect. When I bring you on and you show lack of respect, you're gone.
Yeah.
Especially not showing up to auditions. Sometimes actors are like, oh, this role's not right for me. You're not the casting director. Yeah. You never want to miss an audition, because you may not be right for that part, but they might see you and think of another part for you. It's happened to me countless of times. times.
Right.
Countless of times. People
And
have gone in
actors that
for one thing and then they called them in for something else.
Yeah, completely. And actors need to trust casting, that because casting does go through thousands of submissions per role, that if you're being brought in for an audition, you're meant to be there. Exactly. You know, we picked you out of thousands and thousands of thumbnails. So,
I mean, I want to let everybody know, the actors who are all on here, for every role that I submit actors on, there are between 3,000 to 6,000 other actors being submitted for each role. And that's true.
Yeah, no. So just know that when you do come in for the audition, that in itself is a win. That's already a huge win. You already literally beat out thousands of people to get into that audition. So for you to not show up on time, to not be prepared, to not have read the materials ahead of time, that's not only disrespecting the office you're going into, but that is disrespecting the thousands of actors who would have sawed off a pinky finger to get into that audition.
And you know, when you don't care, when you go to an audition and you show that you didn't put an effort in, they notice, and they notice when you put an effort in. And
we have systems in place to check your name.
Tend to remember what was wrong over what was right.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, this is a very small community, guys. We all know each other. We all talk.
Just like actors talk, agents and casting offices talk too.
Oh yeah. We've got our own Facebook groups. We've got our own, you know, we share war stories. So, you know, just know that what you put out there, it could come back to you in a way that you wouldn't necessarily expect. Right. We all know how hard an agent works. This will be my last question before we open it up to the group. We all know how hard you guys work. What is, you know, the things that actors can do besides being on time, besides being prepared? What can they do to meet you halfway?
They need to be out and making themselves relevant. If it's not on social media, it's going, like even SAG has these meet and greets, sending postcards to different casting offices, even going to the casting office. They need to make a presence for themselves. They need to be up on their game. You don't just get pictures once every couple of years. I would say get pictures every 6 months, even if it's 1 or 2 looks, because we're constantly changing. Mm-hmm. Write down the shows that you really want to be in. And then let's make a plan for you to get into that room for that show. It just showing up for yourself, for your agency, and as an actor. This is a business. I have actors that come in so many times that I interview, and they don't bring their headshots. How are you going to an audition? How are you going to an agency? How are you going to go to a job and you don't bring your resume? It's the same thing. Yeah. Show up. Take responsibility for yourself. It's your career. This is your career.
That's exactly right. And that's something that I would tell actors all the time, is that no one else is waking up every morning and saying, gee, how am I going to make so-and-so's career happen? You know, no one. I mean, agents are there to help, but there's only so much you can do.
People block themselves. Oh, I have to lose 10 more pounds. I just need my hair to grow.
Right.
It's not about that. It's about understanding the copy when you go in there and reading. It's not about this. Yes, this does play a role in it, but it's about your skill. This is about your skill as an actor, understanding copy, breaking it down, understanding how to audition, what is required of you. Anybody can pick up a paper and recite lines.
Yeah.
But it's what you bring to it as yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So on that note, let's open it up to the audience. I'm going to scroll up.
I see questions like 1,000 of them.
I know, there's so many. Well, there's just all these people who want to, I mean, some of a reoccurring question I've been seeing over and over is, do you represent kids and teens?
I do represent kids.
Great.
When there's a kid, when for a kid to be represented, they have to get a permit to work, which you can get online and it's free.
Yeah.
And they need to open up a Coogan account. And what that is, it's a bank account where the money the actor makes, the kid makes, goes into for the kid. That law was passed many years ago because
Jackie Coogan
took all the money. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Jackie Coogan. Google him, kids.
Coogan, that's right.
Famous vaudeville star. Parents robbed him blind. It's a horrible story.
Blind.
But that's
and I
what
can understand it. The parents
are.
probably think like, I'm running them around to the auditions. So there's a percentage that has to go into that account. So they need to have a Coogan account and they need to have a work permit.
Yes. Absolutely, and that's very important. And unfortunately, you won't be allowed on set without those things. So make sure you have all that taken care of. So, do you think that let's see, this is thick_shady. I love that username. Do you think one should have a social media account directed towards acting?
Yes. You can. I have my agency social media page, but I also have like a personal one where it's just my life. It has nothing to do with work. So you can have. I would recommend having one where it's your professional page as an actor, and if you want to have one as for your personal life, that's great too. But
Wonderful.
don't connect the two.
Yeah, no, and it's good too just to have something that's sort of designated for your professional purposes, especially as actors. If you start branching out into other things, if you start becoming coaches, if you start doing other stuff, it's just nice to have a professional account. So let's see, another question. What's Peter's specialty? That's what Mia Riviera 2222 asks.
Commercials. I love commercials.
Good. Very
Commercials
good.
are my specialty.
And let's see, Renata _Sanhines _Jensen. I hope I pronounced